Millions of Muslims perform Hajj every year, and with that, surely comes millions of questions. What du'as do I read? Where do I go? What do I pack? What is al-baik and how does the chicken taste? To answer these questions, Haji Ismail Davids has written a book to be of service to the pilgrims and the Ummah. We sat down with Haji and he shared with us his experiences over the years.
All these years, Hajj is what I love, is my passion. What I love about it is just seeing the pleasure on the pilgrims when they finish their Hajj. Their faces when they say like, we're done now, and then just seeing that satisfaction and that you've helped them through this difficult 6 days, to fulfill that pillar.
So you frequent Mecca a lot. I can only assume that you would very easily pick out the differences over the years, because obviously the Hajj ministry in Saudi Arabia has developed the precinct itself. And so sometimes what you would normally take the Hajjaj one direction, you now have to take them a different direction.
The early days when you could actually drive your car right up to the door of the Haram and get out. Right, so those were good days. We used to drive for Fajr, park the car on the side, jump out, pray Fajr, get back in our car, go back. So like a lot of people think we're nuts when we say this is what we're going to do, or they complain all the way. Sometimes a bus would stop and you could see that the Haram is like maybe 2 kilometers away. And I would say, jump, stop, we're getting off. And everyone would go like, what are you doing? I say, get off, we're getting off. Because I know from that point, it's easier to walk from there to the Haram than it is if this bus goes past this point.
All right, Hajj, tell me a bit more about your interest in going to Hajj and then taking groups to Hajj. How did that all start?
So you know how when you do counseling, they say you're an accidental counselor? You just end up counseling people because of the situation you're in. And I sort of became the pseudo expert in the logistics of the Hajj. So 1990, 1991, I started working in one of the Dawah centers in Jeddah, teaching new Muslims about Islam. So the first thing I used to teach was Salah, and then they needed somebody to teach about Hajj. I used to teach people about Hajj, and I used to go with the groups for Hajj. The most amount of people I had on Hajj with me as a group leader was 600 reverts. The beauty about the Filipino reverts were that there's 200 of them and you say turn right and they all turn right. You say turn left, everybody turns left. There's no about why are we turning right, or can I go left as well? I became the default person to teach about Hajj. And then when family members come for Hajj, I would help people with Hajj and just talk about different things. I started writing notes, giving people dua, papers and stuff when they came. And somebody said to me one time, why don't you write a book? So I thought about it and I started collecting all the information, all my thoughts. And it took me 6 years just to collect the information. I decided to write the book, and this is the book that I wrote on getting the best out of Hajj. We're going to call it The Hitchhiker's Guide to Hajj. But we thought it won't sell if you call it The Hitchhiker's Guide to Hajj, so we call it Getting the Best Out of Hajj. So then I wrote the book, but the book was designed to give logistics, understanding, and the spirit of understanding why you're doing this journey. So the idea was when I left Saudi, I needed to get somebody to publish the book. Like I wasn't interested in owning it, so to speak. I just wanted to make sure that the word got out and then people were using it. I went to Dar es Salaam, the owners of the books, and they weren't interested. The brother that was sitting there said, look, I get so many requests for books and stuff. But yeah, I'll think about it. He said, I'll tell you one thing, Brother Ismail. I have so many people asking me to publish books, and many times I'll take a book and I'll say, that book is going to be a smash hit. And other times somebody would give me a book and I would go, nah, and the reverse happens. And I've learned that it is the intention and sincerity of the author that determines what happens to that book. Book actual first version was published in 2000, the color version of it. But it was too heavy, too expensive, and there was no distribution of it. Like I had to sell it, I was carrying it around, trying to sell it, distribute it. Alhamdulillah, in 2005, 6, 7, I think, they sent me a note and said, we published your book. And I got really excited. They sent me a copy and they published the Umrah version of this book. Oh, that's the wrong one you published. And a year later, they published the Hajj one. Beauty I loved about the book, or what I see, is that everywhere I go for Hajj, I see just people from everywhere with the book. And I take photos of people reading from the book and stuff, and people would say, no, they will argue in the tent. No, page so and so. And people would know the book better than I do. They'd have like little stickers in the book there and they mark from the book.
Year on year, you've been going Hajj, alhamdulillah, for such a long time. From a spiritual perspective, did that ever diminish for you, or is it always, you always get a spiritual high?
Every year people say, I don't know how you can do this. But then I try to make sure that I always feel like this could be my last time. I live my life with the view of I never want to regret something. So when I go for Hajj, even though I'm there, I've been there many times, I go like the first time. So I will not neglect going to the Haram or going early or forcing people to go to the mosque or doing things right, because I'm there like I'm the first time. So the spiritual side, even though we're so used to it, I personally pay a lot of attention to make sure I still get a benefit from it. I look forward to it, and I help everybody, teaching them what to get from it, especially Arafat Day. then if I'm teaching that and I don't actually use it myself, then I feel like I'm hypocritical about it.
So you give this advice to the pilgrims, you get a spiritual high, and you see other people's faces, mashallah, they, it lights up, and the people finish their Hajj, and then it's 2019 and you've done your last Hajj.
We had one of the best Hajjs in 2019 because, on Arafah it rained and it was just an experience of a lifetime. It was one of those ones that we really, really find highly spiritual. So if I never go again, then I will be happy and satisfied, because 2019 was such a beautiful Hajj. Was such a beautiful Hajj. When we were in Arafah and it rained and we're standing in the rain. So I say to people, take the opportunities that you have, make the best of them, because you don't know whether you'll have them again. And the Prophet ﷺ said, hasten to perform your Hajj because you do not know what's going to come in your way. And Allah has blessed me over the years to have had the privilege to make the best of it. There was a couple of years that I missed for a specific reason, but there was one year, I can't remember why I couldn't go. And then on the day before Arafah, the guys from the Dawah Center calls me and says, look, there's a truck going to give out water in Arafah. Would you like to go with the truck? Right? So one year I was spending in Arafah just giving out water. Right? So it's almost like Mecca is my home. When I'm in Mecca, I'm at home.